Hello everyone. I don't think anyone's watching yet, but if anyone is watching, please feel free to say hello. I'm going to do some setting up of the score. I did already some setting up and adjustments since you all have last been here. I made this one bracket so we could have one time signature here, so we could do the big time signatures. Originally these were two brackets, and the way Dorico is set up is every time there is a bracket, it will automatically put a time signature. So it's just easier to make it one bracket for all of percussion. I changed the labels a little bit to make them a little bit nicer looking. I also, here on, like, for example, the trumpets, where there's those two parts on one line, so as I talked about last time, so if we go here to write mode, we go to galley view, Dorico is still seeing them as two, but it condenses it down to one, which is nice. So, oh, hi, Mark. I thought I was just here streaming alone. Welcome to the Dorico stream. I'm teaching a little bit about Dorico. Welcome, Mark. Good to see you. So I went through and edited that a little bit. I also made these labels up here a little cleaner, and I changed this. So today what we're going to do is we're going to go through the cool, Mark. And don't forget, later tonight, we're setting up the score still, but Kevin and I will be composing at 7 o'clock Eastern. So if you want to see some composing, I'm just setting up the score and showing everyone how to set up a score in Dorico, now 3.5. So that's all I'm doing right now, is trying to make it look nice. And then at 7 o'clock, Kevin Day and I will be composing, which is going to be a lot of fun. I know Kevin's really excited about it. I'm really excited about it too. Kevin and I had a lot of fun on the other piece we were doing. So today we're just going to basically be here in Dorico going through the engraving mode options and kind of deciding what we think is the best ones and what looks nicer here in the engraving options. So let's see. I like that. Which one would you guys rather go for? The one on the left or the one on the right? Basically, what's asking is if you look at these lower flats down here, like, do you want it to go really far out if there's three of them like this? Again, I don't think that we'll have this because we're not going to really have three on one line. We'll at most have two, but I like the one on the left too. That's what we'll go with. We're going to leave that alone. We're going to leave that alone. And see that sometimes there's advanced options, collision detection. So we're going to use the accurate measurements. All right. This one, what do we have here? Left to right. So it goes to the lower note is to the left, or the lower note is to the right. I like it to the left. I think this looks cleaner. Stacking order of accidentals and chords and two voices. Again, it's asking the same thing for sharps this time, I guess. Oh no, it's in a single voice. Oh, okay, so this is if there's stems up and stems down. So this one's if all the stems are going the same direction. This one's if there are two voices. Yeah, I like it like this, how it has it. Oof. Hopefully we don't write anything with that much on one line. Oof. We're going to leave that one alone. We're going to leave that one for flats alone too. We're going to leave that alone. In a grade 1.5, I think we should just this. And this. Or this. Just... Oof. Fine. Fine, fine, fine. This looks great. Distance between adjacent stacks. Accidental stacks. So, let's see. Yeah, we're going to do this. I like this. Parentheses. We're gonna leave the default. These are things like you'll have to be writing and then see what they do. In a grade 1.5, Mark, you want to see me write that? Oh man, I could just hear the rejection letter. Dear Mr. Pasternak, what it appears you have written here, or I mean, I guess in this case it'll have Kevin on it too. Dear Mr. Pasternak and Mr. Day, what you've written here is not a grade 1.5. Maybe a 5. Not a grade 1.5. Alright. We're not going to be writing any arpeggios, but I usually use the arrow, so I'll put the arrow. I don't usually just... I like the arrows on them. I mean, probably, the way that this is wording it is you probably would just assume that it was up when it was no label, but the reason it's down is to me it doesn't hurt to have the arrow. That's my opinion. It's not going to hurt anybody just to have an arrow at the end of it. Especially, like, I can understand if you were maybe back in the day when you were writing things by hand, it may have taken a couple extra minutes, but nowadays when a computer can do it, there's no real reason for it, in my opinion. We're going to leave those alone. I don't think we're going to edit much in this, to be honest. Arpeggio. Yeah, we're not going to need that, so we're going to leave that alone. Articulations. Advanced options. So this is things that we're going to have to look at later. Whether or not we want things to be allowed inside the staff or not. Those are going to have to be things we look at. Alright. Do we want it centered? I want it centered on the stem. I like that. I like it like this. I think this looks better. I believe for Marcato, I believe that they can go wherever they follow the note head. That's my opinion. Same with accents. Same with those. We're not going to write any of these. So we don't have to worry about that. Slurs. I am a firm believer in the inside slurs. Firm believer in that. We're going to leave that alone. We're not going to do anything with stress marks. I can't imagine when this would be useful. I mean, I know that this is probably some people do, but I can't imagine you're writing and you would want the accent at the end. I can't imagine. Now this I can... First of all, I don't know why you would want to do this, but I understand that the end of it is what's being reflected here. Yes. Yes. We're not going to use that, so it doesn't matter. Bar numbers. We don't need an enclosure, and that's fine. Cool. Bar repeats with parentheses after 4. Actually, you know what? Yeah, after 4. Vertical position, fine. Fine. Yep, all that is good. Okay, bar lines. Now these I do change a little bit. I do make the regular bar lines a little thinner. thick bar line a little thinner. I do make the gap between the double bar line just basically on all of these. I'm going to go like this. Just tick it down one. To me, and see if we hit apply, you'll see in the background how much thinner things look already. I mean, I know we don't have any double here, I'll make one real quick. But you could see that how much nicer just the regular bar line is. If we do this, there we go. Everything looks so much nicer and thinner. In my opinion, I think that looks so much nicer. Okay, back to engrave, engraving options. Yeah, we'll allow the protrusion. Bar lines and vocal stabs, you'd never want to, most cases never, I mean, I guess never isn't the right word, but in most cases you wouldn't want to do that. We're not going to do anything polymetric, so we don't need to worry about that. For key signature changes, always a double bar line. Yeah, definitely like this with a thicker one in the middle. Definitely. Yeah, I like the default there. Coda, I always like a double bar line at the end, personally. Repeat dot frequency. Yeah, definitely only 2 of them. There's no need for that. Some people are really getting into putting the wings on their repeats. Personally, I'm a fan of no wings, but depends on who's doing what, I guess. Yeah, I always like the closed bar line at the beginning. I don't like the open one on my always instead. Again, I don't think we're going to need any of this for what we're doing. Yeah, we're not going to need any of this for what we're doing. But let's see what the advanced now. We're not going to touch any of those. Okay, beams. Let's see. We're going to leave that alone. We are going to leave that alone. We're going to leave that alone. Yeah, I don't like the beams. What it's saying here is you see these are in the staff. These are out of... Yeah, I prefer that. Yeah, I'd prefer together. That would confuse... I would start playing 64th notes by accident if I were playing something like that. That would confuse me. Like that is fine. The normal... Yep, I like that one. Yeah, I would want the slant. There's no reason I would want it to remain horizontal all the time. Yeah, see, this would be confusing because I like this one because you see it's saying this one's staying horizontal because they're repeated. If you were doing this, you would start to play it. You would think that it was going up. It would I mean, it would confuse me. Let me put it like that. Single line percussion, there's no reason for any slants. Again, no reason for any slants in percussion. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine, and that's fine. Cool. Bracketed note heads. I don't think we're going to need any of these. Let's just look at them real quick. Let's skim through, see if there's anything that we're going to need. So far, it's not looking like we will. Yep, no. Okay. Brackets and braces. Now, these we are going to adjust a little bit. We're going to make that a little bit, so here, so you can see them. We're going to make the bracket a little thinner. There we go. Then you can do wings and the different types of things there. Do you want it to go a little farther? I definitely want it to go a little farther out. I don't think that, I think that's going to be a little too far, but yeah, a little further in. Yep. Now these we need to make a little smaller. We don't want that. Now this is going to be a little tricky because there are none of these here right now. And I'll show you what I mean in a second about that. So here, what these are talking about is, if we go back to right, if we look here, it's referring to these brackets. And as you can see, I've already made it a little thinner. Now, we probably will never need this because we'll probably never show the brackets or those sub brackets because we're doing everything on one line. But if there were to be a sub bracket, then it would be kind of a little thicker. So that's what we're trying to sort of clean up here in this particular spot of the engraving options. By the way, if you're watching, please feel free to say hello, ask any questions you may have about Dorico. I'd be happy to answer anything. I'm just trying to get this set up here in the next hour. I got a few things to do before we get started with the live stream with Kevin. Alright, we need to do this a little bit. We need to take these down each a number. 14. I don't think that we need to do all of these. I just do to keep it consistent. That's just me, because it would bother me. And again, I don't think we're going to need them at all for what we're doing. But see, we're still making them a little smaller as we go. A little thinner. To sort of fit the thickness of the bracket we just made. That's what we're trying to accomplish. Whoops. What am I? Oh, I'm in the wrong tab. That's why I can't find what I want. Okay, there we go. There's one more? No. Okay. So this is something else we want to do. We want to make this. What do we make the 1/4? Let's go look at it and see what we did. Nothing. That did not change that at all. Can we? No, we can't. Can this get one smaller? Yes. Okay, good. Let's just do this. So now if we go back over here, they're still not changing. Still looks the same. Let's go back. I remember when I had to do this on a score before, and I was kind of struggling. And I know I'm spending a lot of time on something that we're probably never going to use. It took me a little while today to get these numbers to work right, like this. It took me a few minutes and to make these a little bit less spaced out. It took a little bit of time to get those to do that today. So there's some things. Oh, and I want to say this. So I remember the other day on the live stream, I was having a hard time doing some writing. I found out what I was doing wrong, and as I told you on the stream, I was pretty sure it was my fault. So sometimes what happens is this arrow will be selected, and you see then you can't select the notes. If you uncheck the arrow, then it's just as simple as putting in the notes. So it was 100% my fault, as I figured it was. So, and see, I just clicked the arrow. It's kind of habit, I guess. And see, so yeah, you just gotta double click it sometimes. It's my fault, so you could just click on it. Yeah, cool. 100% my fault. And I was also extremely tired that day, so it was a bad mixture for everybody. Still not changing. In a minute, we're going to try one or two more things, and then we're going to... Again, we're not going to need it, so it's not like we need to spend this much time on it. Oh, there we go. That's exactly what we want. Actually, to be honest with you, it could be a little thinner yet. So let's just go here. What I just did was copy and pasted that. Can we go to right? I think that that looks okay. Let's try one more thing. Let's try and make it a little thinner yet. And then we'll be done. This may be a little too thin. And I never use this flat brace, and it just, to me, it doesn't look normal or natural. I'll show you guys that in a minute if we get this to work, but I think it's as thin as we're going to make that bracket, which is fine. It looks okay. All right. So, but again, it's for something that we're probably never going to use, but I'll show you what it means by flat brace. Personally, I'm not a fan of the flat brace, but here, I'll do this and then I'll fix it. So that's the flat brace. To me, I'm not a fan. I don't like that. So if we go back here, advanced options, and we uncheck that and hit apply, now we should be, yeah. And that's as good as we're gonna get that, I think. But that's fine. It looks okay. It looks really thin. It looks like it's about the same thickness as the main bracket. Yeah, we could make this wing a little better or a little nicer looking. That we do need to worry about because that is something that we are going to be dealing with. So let's make that 132. Cool. All right, let's continue on in the engrave options. So we've done, I think we're good with everything in here. Again, if you're here, if you have any questions about Dorico, please feel free to let me know. I'll be happy to answer anything, or if you just want to watch, you can just watch. That's fine. No big deal. I don't think this is not what we're doing, but yep, just like that. Cool. Now if we go and we look, again, we didn't really need anything there, but everything looks good. All right, we're done with brackets. Let's move on to the next category. Chord diagrams we aren't going to use, so I'm going to skip them. Chord symbols we aren't going to use, so I'm going to skip those. As you can see, there's so many things. I mean, and this is why I like when I'm doing projects where I have a lot of things I want to remain consistent. I would prefer Dorico, because all these things, you set these rules and then you never have to worry about it again. Like we're in Finale and Sibelius, you may set some rules, but then you constantly have to edit whatever you're doing to kind of fit whatever you're doing to remain consistent. So that's me personally. I think that I like how Dorico handles its rules. I mean, again, it's a little bit more up front, but you kind of set it and forget it, and then you never have to worry about it again. So that's just me. I love this too for the 2 indication. You can tell it what you want for unison. So I could write 2D there if I wanted. Personally, I mean, I like those kind of customizations. All right. Cues. I personally believe in the articulations, because then you just have to add them again. Slurs, we definitely want to include that. To me, I like including everything in my cues. So, oh no, we definitely want to include dynamics, because I mean, if you don't include these things, then you got to enter them again. I know Sibelius has some settings for this kind of stuff, but Sibelius doesn't cover them nearly as in depth. I know Sibelius handles cues even a little. Or I'm sorry, Finale handles even a little bit different yet. So. Always includes playing techniques. Ornaments, definitely include those in the cues. Lyrics, we're not going to do any lyrics, but that's fine. Text, definitely take those in the cues. You gotta keep in mind, the reason we would do this is these are for like educational music. Like you would want this because in case, you know, someone didn't have the instrument. That's why you're cueing it. Whereas like these are like for professionals, like cue them to come in, so like when they're resting for hundreds of measures, they know when to come in. So for our purposes, we definitely want those things in there. Clefs, I don't think we're going to need to worry about, but yeah, they can put clefs. Actually, no, we're not, because we can add them if we want them. Always above the staff, sorry. Instrument label. Use abbreviated name always. Instrument pitch or transposition. We're going to exclude it from the label. We'll exclude the octave thing, because then what we'll do, to me, I mean, in our case, it's educational stuff. You would very rarely want to put that there. So, one, that looks good. Additional, we definitely want the play label at the end. Definitely. See, this is the kind of stuff. So, like, to me, this is time saving. Like in Sibelius, you would have to type that again. Where this, you could just, it just does it. So, I mean, I think Finale too, you have to put a expression there. So, Yeah, to me, this is all time-saving stuff. Now, that being said, in this condensing thing, I know that these label things are all new. I can't honestly tell you half of probably what I need to be able to tell you about them. I feel kind of bad, like I should be able to tell you more about them, but especially since I'm here trying to teach the program. But those are some things that, I guess I'm going to have to learn and share with you if we need them with Kevin as we go on. All right, we did the VC Dynamics. I prefer the abbreviation. I always like Subito to be first, so it looks like this, not Forte Subito, which is what this is asking. I think SF would be fine. Hyphen for the separators. Allow separators for combined dynamics. I think always is what we want. Appearance of gradual. See, now you can always tell it to do this too. So if you put in a hairpin, you can tell it to do this. I usually prefer decrescendo. I find with a lot of these things, I usually try to take it down a thing, because to me, Dorico's lines are a little bit thick by default. I like the niente N, personally. I also prefer this with the dynamic in the middle. I don't like that. Continuation hairpin at system break. I would want it to start over. Yeah, it's stuff that you'd have to toy with later. Gaps. Yeah. Which one do you want to shorten? The first one or the second one? I think that I would prefer the first one to be a little shorter. I always prefer the lyrics to be on the inside of the dynamics. That's me. Mark, are you still with me? Hi, Mark. I believe that the I personally would never this, but these two I'm torn, either the note head or I'm torn between these. I'm torn. I think I'm going to go with the one on the right. Mark, I'm glad you're still here. I think I'm going to do this one. I just looked at a few scores. I think this is the one I want. Cool. Figured bass. This is actually new. We're not going to need figured bass, but these are all the settings that they just added. Figure bass is like they just added this. This is new to 3.5. So for those of you that are interested in figured bass. There you go. The fingering things for what you would use that for. I don't think... I don't think we're going to use any of these. Now, I know we could do it for, like, brass instruments, maybe, but I don't think we would. I don't think we're going to need those. See, this is the thing, too. So if you were writing for brass... Okay, Mark, you're a brass player. If I was writing fingerings in, would it go vertically or horizontally? Would you prefer a separator between them? Like, I think the slash is what we would use, but would you prefer it like this? Horizontal or vertical? Vertical like this. Oh. Okay. Well, we'll leave it alone. So then you probably would not want a separator then because... Yeah, I was going to say, I would have done this because then you would want this separator here, no? The slash separator, no? This one with the dot, the circle. All right, let's see for the French horn. So there we go. So that's something I never would have thought. Okay, so would you put a colon onto what side of the French horn? Yeah, I think I would prefer the colon. I think that looks a little... I like the colon in there personally. And then for trombone, would you want the numbers or the Roman numerals? I think the numbers would be... Yeah, we're not going to worry about strings, but I think the numbers... I would prefer the numbers, not the Roman numerals. All right, glissando lines. I prefer the wiggly line. I also prefer no text. Again, I don't think in a grade... I mean, there's some 1.5s that have glissandos, I guess. There's a... whatchamacallit by... isn't it John Wasson? The Prehistoric Suite? I feel like it's by Wasson. Yeah, I gotta look it up now so I don't give false information. But the trombones go, I think it's the Brachiosaurus movement. It's like... It's a lot of fun. Kids love it. Paul Jennings. Yep, I goofed. Paul Jennings. That's a fun one. With the glissandos in it. I think it's a grade 1.5. We're not going to worry about guitars. We're not going to worry about harps. Instrument changes we are going to worry about. I mean, I don't think we're going to need them, but nothing there to worry about. Jazz articulations we're not going to worry about. Wow, that's a lot of good stuff here. Key signatures. So here's a question. Do you guys prefer the cautionary naturals, or do you just prefer... I've been torn between this. I've done a few older things that have the traditional. Yeah, let's leave it alone. Language. tempo object, Italian. Yep, good. Lines. Yeah, lyrics we're not going to worry about. Markers. We're not going to do these. Rehearsal marks are the one we want, which are, as you can see, still way down here. So those are for like film. Note heads. We're going to use the larger note heads. We're not going to worry about those. We'll do the round one. Show one rhythm dot like this. Everything here looks good to me. I always believe in these the multiple things, putting parentheses and giving the kind of reminder ones. Oh, this is a good. I think I prefer them above. I don't think I prefer them underneath. We're gonna do the regular flags. Everything here looks good to me. I would never. I mean, we're never going to need that in what we're doing, but I would never. Okay, octave lines. I don't think we're going to need any of these, but yeah, definitely like that. Yep. Yeah. I would do that. Parentheses when they're continuing. All these look good to me. Yep, done. Okay, ornaments. I don't think I would align it with the accidental. I would always align it with the note head. Start of new system. See, so I don't understand this context. Are we... Is it continuing? Because if it is, then I want that. But we'll have to see what happens. Position reminder gap for trill extension. We're going to put it like that. Like that. That's well, actually, I think I prefer it like this. I don't like it next to it. I prefer it like that. All things that we're not going to need. Parentheses definitely if we're doing that. That all looks good. Pedal lines we're not going to need because we're not going to do anything with pedals, I don't think. Yeah, that's fine. Percussion. That's fine. Playing techniques. Yep, that's fine. Rehearsal marks. Bar numbers. I always prefer it like this. Center aligned to the bar line. Yes. I always prefer it at the beginning of the bar. I don't like it like that. Yep, yep. I always prefer it to be in line with my text as well. Always a rectangle. Yep, good, cool. Repeat endings. Like that. Like that. I like it as a range. That's me, though. Okay, good, done. Repeat markers. Lots of good things here. Personally, yeah, I like the coda with the sign. Yep, 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 yep. Yep. So many. See, this is what I was saying earlier. There's just so many things. You said it and then you forget it, and it's just done. So, personally, to me, this is all good stuff. Actually, no, I wouldn't do that. I mean, we don't have any piano things like that, but tacit al fine. Good. 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 Okay, cool. Slurs. Yeah, these are all things that you may have to adjust later. Yeah, I would never, always from the beginning, I would never do that. Yeah, I'd never do that either. Always to the end. Yeah, I would never, ever, ever, ever let a slur go through an accidental like that. Okay, good. Spacing gaps. Done. Staff labels. So I'll give you guys just a little bit of insight. This is something I did play around with earlier. I did this. I think it was, yeah, so horizontally puts them next to each other. Vertically gives it that kind of stacked thing, and then stacked on top of each other no matter what. I told it with numbers, so that kind of is how we got these down here through this. So if we go back to vertical, and then we do that, you see now it's like that. But we want that, and we want that, because now it gives us this nice vertical. Staves, I don't think we're going to change anything there. Nope, nope, nope. I don't think we're going to need system dividers, but yeah, no. Okay, tabs, we don't need tacits. No border. Not something we're going to need. Tempo. Again, I don't think this is something we're going to need. No lines. Just the text. We're not going to use any of those like that. Always in line with it. Okay, cool. Text. I don't think there's anything, yeah, nothing we need to worry about there. Ties. Now these I know we're going to need, yeah, I always put them between the notes. Ties go between them. There's one particular that the dotted ones I usually make sure I change. Yes, dotted ones always go between them like that. All right, ties are done. Time signatures. I think that we're done with these. I don't think there's anything we need to worry about. Yep, nothing we need to worry about. Tremolos. Nothing we need to worry about. And tuplets I think are good. All right, cool. So we are done with setting up our score for today. So, that's it for now. Tune in at 7 o'clock as Kevin Day and I do some composing in this score that is now completely set up. So this is what it looks like. Here, if we go to print, you can see it. Oops. We can zoom out. Oops. Maybe if I could do this correctly. Whole page. There we go. So that's what it looks like. So Kevin and I will be composing at 7 o'clock. Check it out. I will see you guys at 7. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Mark, for joining us. Bye, everyone else.